absolutely. Now, one of the most exciting areas of AV tech innovation is the sports entertainment space. Great AV systems can truly immerse fans in the stands as well as captivating those watching at home. And so it's a real honor to be joined today for our Vegas sports panel. Andrew Abrams, VP and Executive Producer at Vegas Golden Knights, and Justin Casserly, Senior Director of Game and Events Presentation at the Las Vegas Raiders. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
How have you found the show so far? Have you had a chance to walk around and have a look?
A little bit, yeah. It's a pretty impressive showroom.
And have you both been here before, or is this your first time at Infocom?
It's my first time, yeah.
First time?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Well, okay, so we've had a couple of first timers on the show as well, so it'd be interesting to get your thoughts afterwards. I don't know if you're going to stick around long and maybe check your step count, see any tips you can give to other first timers next time for keeping fresh on the floor. We look forward to hearing it. So if we just dive straight in, can you share a little bit about your roles in the organisation and how you got into the sports and entertainment industry?
Yeah. Originally from Western New York, when it was time to graduate from college and pick a career, video production was always what I wanted to go into, but my path took me to sports. Been in hockey for almost my entire career. I was with WWE Wrestling for 2 years, so jumped out of hockey, sports, and jumped back in. But really, it's shows like this are great because we get to see the latest and greatest technology, and we get to use those type of things in our everyday lives. And I oversee all the video production and entertainment for the Vegas Golden Knights, obviously the local hockey team here. Mm-hmm. And it's Vegas is a great place to be, especially with conventions that come in town like this.
Yeah, and especially working with the Stanley Cup champions that you've got proudly emblazoned on your chest.
Yes.
So that's fantastic.
Yes.
And ironically, so I actually started with the NHL. So we actually met back when I started with the New York Rangers, Madison Square Garden. So I kind of had a bit of a career path plan. I kind of knew I wanted to get in sports, even starting back in high school. So I took on internships, different roles throughout college, and then landed at the Garden for an internship, which became a full-time role. So I spent 6 years there, and then started to develop as a show caller, understanding content creation. And then I went down to Miami at Hard Rock Stadium and did a lot there with the Dolphins, Formula One, Miami Open. And then when this opportunity arose, my wife was the one who found it. She said, hey, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. What do you think? And so during the Super Bowl 54 in Miami, I was interviewing for this and flew out and decided to open a stadium during a pandemic and bring a storied franchise to Vegas. So.
And are you based in Vegas now, both of you?
In Henderson, yeah.
Henderson. So do you think your wife was looking for jobs that would advance your career, or was she searching how to move to Vegas?
She's very happy here, very happy.
Okay, good.
Wonderful. Now, I've not had the opportunity to go to either of your stadiums, but yeah, just seeing what you guys are producing from at home, it's just magnificent. And so both of your organizations are using innovative and integrative AV technology. Can you just share what are some of the specific AV technologies that you guys are using to enhance the audience experience for them and your guests there?
Sure. So a couple of things that stand out for us. Our control room is set up with 2 raw security switchers, and it's something that we wanted the opportunity to have, and we haven't always utilized. But one of the things was even just last season we did a simul broadcast of UNLV for broadcast as well as the stadium show. And the 2 switcher system afforded us that, aside from all the other stations that we have. I think we're up to about 6 expression boxes right now or so. But that was also kind of evolutions over the course of these seasons and building up to the Super Bowl that we just hosted. So those have been some of the kind of key implementations of our control room. And then some of the other AV that we really hone in on is audio. That's something really important, not just for the overall fan experience, but also on how we leverage that into our live entertainment with top artists, top performers, and having a dedicated front of house audio team. And then some of the things too with PixMob and some of the wearable LED technology and how that just elevates the overall production value, especially in a venue like ours where we don't have the benefit like arenas and VGK of a lot of darkness, and even our primetime games still being with a lot of light around dusk time. So when we can have 65,000 wearable LED units and all in sync and time coded, it definitely elevates the show, especially when it is a primetime matchup or a key game.
Great.
Yeah, if you've ever been to a Golden Knights game, or if you just simply YouTube Golden Knights, our main thing is we're known for our show. We want to be a Vegas show on the Strip. So one of the things we utilize a lot is ice projection. A lot of teams do that. We use it to tell story. We use interactivity, and it tells we really lean into our medieval brand, so our opens are always a knight facing off against a foe, and the foe happens to represent whatever team we're playing that night. And having a 200-foot video surface with these projection units really helps us tell that story, and it's really what we use to wow the crowd. And our team, shout out to them, every year we push the envelope a little more and more what we can do, and really the sky's the limit on the creativity with something like that.
Absolutely, we just saw some fantastic footage there streamed. That was the kind of thing you're talking about. That's an incredible experience, I imagine, for the fans. You mentioned, Justin, that sort of moving to Vegas and opening a stadium in the middle of a pandemic. I want to know how, if there's any thoughts you both have on how the pandemic influenced your approach to AV solutions in your facilities, and what adaptations you sort of implemented in response.
So for us, we're literally building the stadium. It was a design build project from the get-go, so it was always being designed while it was being built. Great feature on our YouTube channel kind of talking about that whole process, but because of that, we were doing a lot of testing and a lot of font tests and weight tests and color testing, and it was all around just the different zones and the different boards, and nobody had ever sat in a seat, and we're not even intending to for another year because we had already officially canceled that season, or at least allowing fans into the building. So it was really just on us and our very limited skeleton crew that had the opportunity to get in the building to go through and walk around and see where is the best sight lines, where do we have obstructions, how's the audio here, does the black look black, or do we need to convert to HDR? So it was a lot of just trial and error and troubleshooting, and really through the course of the season, what was a blessing in disguise was not having fans afforded us chances that I've never had in my career and probably won't, where we were making changes quarter by quarter, series by series, half by half, and it allowed us to see things, react to it, and switch things up, kind of allowing us to challenge the control room crew, see their capabilities with those quick reaction moments that do come up over the course of a live game, especially when you have fans and reacting. So it was just a lot of that trial and error over the course of the season, and literally we got to 3/4 of the season, and we went from a traditional 1920, and we really wanted to test the bandwidth of our boards, which are pretty elongated, and so we completely changed the aspect ratio of our show between a Sunday afternoon game and a Thursday night game.
Wow.
And got coaches to come in and show some of those things, and so just to get their buy-in and support as well, and it really got us where we needed to be by the end of that season to have a better plan, and then we perfected it in that off season. When we opened to fans, we were in a much better situation because of that opportunity afforded, and even since then we've just continued to adapt and tweak and fine-tune.
It's interesting as well, and Andrew, we'll come to you as well, but just to say that it's not often that we see or hear the phrase advantages of the pandemic, but it's important to look at those situations to say where could we actually find them. And I suppose in both of your stadiums, was it the case as well that you were kind of gradually increasing the capacity of fans you would let in too, and if so, was that also allowing you to kind of test the facilities at, it's not just like 0 to full house, it's kind of like 0 to 25%, 50%, 75%. Was that an opportunity that was afforded to you as well in terms of testing the capacity?
We were a true 0 to 100.
Okay.
So we had nobody other than working staff, teams, and players, and that was when we were having provided tracks by the NFL to kind of create that crowd ambiance to kind of drown out the players and the coaches and stuff. Yeah. The most eerie thing I've ever done. Yeah. Is hearing almost play calling from the booth. Oh my God. But it was just, again, it was what we were all, the cards we were dealt. So yeah. We dealt with it, but then when we got to the end of that season, we knew we were going to start the following season, and I believe it was only 2 events that we actually had at the stadium. We had a DJ show, we had Garth Brooks before the first game with fans. So they were able to do it from a concert side, but it's a completely different production and situation. So we didn't really have that gradual from the sense of a game day overall, but at least from the production side, we got to go through a lot of trial.
One of the things I like to say is the pandemic was terrible for mankind, but it was really good for technology because you had to figure out how to do things, like you said, without people. And as we gradually got more and more people, your storytelling and your creativity is really tested, because it's kind of like if you're a comedian in a room of 4 people, or if you're a comedian selling out a stadium, jokes and things are going to hit differently. So you really learn really fast how good your team is, or how good you can react to situations in something like that when there's not a lot of people and all of a sudden there's people.
Yeah, definitely.
And then in terms of having not a lot to having a lot. What were some of the unique challenges that you guys may have faced when you were trying to bring a new fan base to Las Vegas? Can you share any lessons learned there?
The fan base in Vegas is very interesting because before our teams came along, there wasn't really traditionally professional teams. So we had to educate the fans, but not, we had to be respectful for them as the knowledge of fans, but without being disrespectful and teaching them two sports, and doing that in a way where they're entertained, but also there's the information, but it's kind of it.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. No, well, we really appreciate you taking the time. If you have any extra tickets that you want to leave behind, we will be more than happy to,
research purposes,
to take them. Yeah, it's
obviously.
only for research.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Andrew and Justin. We really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
best of luck to all the Vegas teams for the rest of their seasons as they progress. Thank you.